who is absolutely precious. This gentleman has dedicated now his life to volunteer on behalf of whatever he can do to help our seniors. This is Social Security, and John Bowzer Bauman is the individual that I'm going to introduce to you, and he's very special. Some of you who may be about my age or more will know something about Sha-Na-Na. And he's gonna say a little something about it, but mostly he's here to talk about all the work that he's doing dedicated to Social Security. Thank you so very much, John Bowzer. You're on.
Oh, interesting.
Are you hearing me okay? Yeah. I hear it back now. Thank you, Congresswoman. And the message is pretty simple. Hands off Social Security. Everybody, say it with me. Say it with me so Donald Trump and co-president Elon Musk can hear it. Hands off Social Security. Now, many of you out there who are familiar with me and the music that I did for 55 years know that I love the music of the 50s and the early 60s. However, that does not mean that I actually want to return to the 50s or the early 60s. Because I don't want to return to a time before Medicare was passed. In 1965, when over 35% of American seniors had incomes below the poverty line. And I certainly do not want to return to a time before Social Security was passed. In 1935, because just think about this, before Social Security, over 50%, more than 1 out of every 2 American seniors had incomes below the poverty line. Social Security and Medicare are the 2 most successful domestic programs in the American history of the United States of America. In fact, we need to expand them. But expansion isn't the mode we're in right now. The mode we're in right now is hands off. And that's why we spearheaded an action in Social Security Works along with Indivisible and several other groups, including AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees, an action on Thursday to go to dozens of Social Security offices and give them a letter. Thank the employees, because we love all the federal employees who are working. They're working their tails off right now, and they're all feeling in fear of losing their jobs. So we thank the employees, and then we handed them a letter that was written by Elizabeth Warren's office and signed by over 100 members of the House and the Senate in an effort that took about 2 days. It was really quick. And the letter said, "We demand no closures of Social Security offices." No closures. They sent out a list of about 47 offices that they were planning on closing. We all pushed back really hard. They pulled back, and that's the most important message you're going to hear today. This public pressure is working. Join us if you haven't been doing it, but it is working. So they gave out the list. They were going to close all these offices. The objection was swift and fierce, and suddenly they weren't going to close these offices. Now, do we really believe that that's for real? You know, everything changes from one day to the next, as you can see. So we gave them this letter demanding no closures to the offices, and we're going to continue to fight. It should be noted that there was another very significant pull back in terms of Social Security. They were supposed to remove all the phone service to the Social Security offices by April 14th. You might have noticed that they didn't do that. They didn't do it because once again, the public pressure worked. Do we want them to change to remove all the phone service to the Social Security offices? No. No. But the message has come loud and clear. That April 5th set of rallies all across the country, hands off everything, including hands off Social Security, the message was sent very loud and clear, and not long after that, they pulled back on the phone service issue. So it's one thing after the other. As the Congresswoman said, you know, we all know that they want to privatize Social Security. You know, and why do they want to privatize Social Security? Because if they were ever able to deliver the massive Social Security trust funds to Wall Street, which is what privatization really means, some people would take their Social Security money and invest it in the Wall Street casino, Wall Street would love them. The financial rewards to the Republican Party for delivering Social Security to Wall Street would be unfathomable. Same thing with Medicare. Privatizing Medicare, giving it back to private insurance. Who's going to love them? The insurance lobby. The rewards would be unthinkable. So this is why it's all going on. Right now, I don't know how much depth we're going to get into on Medicaid today, but I do want to say, while I have the microphone, one of the most important things to communicate to any independent or Republican friends you might have, or if any of them are here in this room, which they may be, Medicaid pays for almost 2/3 of nursing home care in America. Medicaid pays for well over 50% of all kinds of long-term care, including home care, and including assisted living in many states. So the people really need to understand this better than they do. People are very limited in their knowledge of what Medicaid actually does. And when you impart that knowledge to them, they suddenly have an epiphany, oh my God, that is affecting my family, not just other people's families, but my family. Now look, I think we should all be concerned about everybody's family in America. But if we can get, yes, that's important. But if we can get through to some people by making them understand that this actually is closer to them than they think, let's do it. Let's do it. It all will matter. And as I know the Congresswoman was going to say several times today, what we really need to do in the end result is vote. And when we vote, we need to win. So every vote that we can influence, and you know, don't be too scared about whether elections are going to happen in 2026. Elections are pretty decentralized in America, and as hard as they're going to try, they'll be able to suppress votes, but they're not going to be able to destroy elections. We're going to have a good 2026. So just show up. Before I close, I want to reveal to this audience, as we did to the last one, that we at Social Security Works made a new plan this week. I did 2 town halls with the Congresswoman last week. I enjoyed them tremendously, and we discussed during this week at Social Security Works that our very rarely given champion award to a Social Security champion who has been steadfast and fierce with regard to protecting, defending, trying to expand this program, is next going to go to one Maxine Waters. For all of her 36 years in Congress, has been one of the greatest Social Security champions we have ever had. So thank you. I'm just going to close as my alter ego Bowzer might close with a little song. It goes like this. Heads of Social Security.